that will upset your workman comp rate if you have a problem, you know.
So you're saying as much as you like Leonard, you still it needs to be more done.
We need some support, and what's nice about it is we don't have to pay for the training because Leonard will pick up the training with the grants that he's picking up. But what would be nice is if we can get a grant to keep that employee that he trained, not for 1, 2 days, 3 days. We can give him a training of 6 months, a year.
What about the federal government with all the stimulus packages, they bailing out the banks and things? Well, I thought that they were sending a lot of money to Illinois.
Well, the banks got it, except for the contractors, and hopefully now that Obama's there and they start passing some of the money down to us, maybe there'll be an opportunity.
Were
for
you
us.
invited to the White House during the businessman luncheon?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps you'll get there on the next go around. For people who are watching, how could they get in touch with you if some philanthropic group would like to donate to your cause?
They can reach me at my office at 773-427-2980.
Okay, Leonard, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more, okay? All right, brothers and sisters, don't you touch that remote. We're going to take a break and we'll come back on the other side. We'll be right back. We are back, and brothers and sisters, as we're beginning to wind down, we want to emphasize the difficulty in trying to get support for a contractor such as George Salinas. You know, it's one thing to take on people, but if you don't have a mandate with these bills that are being passed, and when I say mandate, that means funding. You know?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's hard to take new trainees and try to make your whole over project profitable with a new trainee. And yet Leonard's coming out with some good people and that want to work and that went through all the testing and all the positive things that they're going through, and yet they can't be hired because nobody wants to take on a new person. Why do you want to take on and have to train them and on a job how to do all their work? It just doesn't work out for a contractor.
Leonard, you've been doing what you do now with the Keep the Faith Foundation for some years, you and your wife. Talk a little bit about what you bring to the table and what you need as it relates to funding and things of that sort.
Well, you know, like you said, we've been doing it for quite a while now. And the thing is that it used to be a lot easier before to get people placed, before the economy has shifted to the condition that it is right now. And so with it being the way it is now, those contractors themselves, the market is so competitive and so much has changed that guy has got to be able to come and hit the ground running. You know, you can't come to the table and give them somebody who's a great person, drug-free, strong desire to work, got all the licenses that legally allow them to work, but doesn't have that actual on-the-job training component done.
Now, one particular program that you're looking for that Joanne is running, and Joanne being your wife, you're looking for African-American men and women that's ages 18 to 45. You want them to be drug-free, physically fit, and they have to reside in Cook County. That's what you're interested in too. And this is free, what you're offering for an apprentice program for 4 weeks. Is that correct?
Right, it's free training to get them so that they will be capable of passing the apprenticeship exams for the various trade unions.
But how do you get people off drugs these days? I mean, you know, they have all kind of little gimmicks now to make themselves appear as drug free. Now, and the only reason I'm raising this because I know from my own experience, people say that they're off drugs. Yeah, you can't police everybody that come to you, can you?
No, but that's the easy part for me personally, because I'm a 18-year recovering addict myself, and I understand the signs.
So
to
every
look
day,
for.
you can recognize it when you see it.
I'm going to recognize it in your behavior. The behavior is going to speak for itself.
That speech begins to slur, huh?
Absolutely. And you start exhibiting certain behaviors, late coming back from lunch consistently, late coming in, want to leave early, you're fidgety, so forth and so on. There's a lot of telltale signs because you got to give a contractor.
Going on.
Oh, without a doubt. The guy got to be drug free because he's a detriment to himself and everybody else he's working with and to the overall project.
What do you say, George?
Exactly the same thing. Not just that, we drug test all our employees, either randomly or when they first start with us.
Oh, you can do it randomly too.
Yes. It's like if we notice that something's not right, we will tell you need to go in to take a drug test. And
But you know, right now, this president is going to Mexico trying to stop the drugs, they say. But, I mean, America is a drug addict, and now he's sending the people to Afghanistan. They're bringing more drugs back from there. The heroin is coming in like it. Well, after all, you're not with immigration, but I have to tell you, it's mind-boggling that these people don't get it. If you think you're going to have a war in Afghanistan with all of that heroin over there, and they're not going to make junkies out of our people here in America, something wrong. But I'm just, yeah.
A lot of people, though, get caught up in the whole drug culture as a result of despair. If you eliminate the despair and the hopelessness, then that in and of itself will reduce the number of people that use drugs.
Feel good about yourself.
Right.
Well, you know, I don't know if you saw the piece the other night, but there was even some of the veterans who go over to war and they are maimed, lose a limb, and then they have to go through changes with companies such as AIG, the insurance companies denying them claims and all of that kind of stuff, you know. And I tell you, these, you know, it's really a tragedy, you know, to see what people have to go through. So if you can't get any justice, oftentimes you look for a scapegoat, you know. But people like you are securing the people. So I'm going to give you the last minute or so. Tell the people a little bit about Keep the Faith, and you tell the people what you want as far as the contract is concerned.
I would like to take Leonard's people and keep them employed a lot longer than what I can do right now. So I would be looking for some kind of federal help or city help that can help me maintain the wages that these gentlemen are getting paid. Not just that. The wages are not, that's one thing. Think of all the insurance that they have for themselves, for their families, for their kids. That's the other thing. That's a whole different issue. That everybody says we need to have insurance. We give them insurance. The union gives them insurance. So by keeping them employed. So that's what
that's
I would
valuable in itself. The insurance. A lot of people go bankrupt, you know, trying to take care of themselves as it relates to health care. It's a good point. Leonard, you have the last word. What do you want to say?
Well, the thing is about that is good, Brother Munir, but you only get that insurance benefit after you have so many hours contributed to you in the course of a year. And I think it's something in the neighborhood of like 1,200 hours. So if the guy works 3 months, the peak of the season, and he's laid off the rest of the time, he still won't be entitled to insurance benefits, even though the employer may have contributed on his behalf several $1,000s.
So there are a lot of mitigating circumstances that we're not aware of.
And that's the thing. Give us the same fair shot that you give to these unions, or give us the same $35,000 that you give to keep someone incarcerated, you know, what have you, and you'll see a whole lot difference.
Why do you think that we know that the union has fought Cook County? The Road Builders Association filed a lawsuit and effectively knocked them out the box, you know, because the county actually lost. The city had some compromise. But, you know, Washburn Trade School is no longer, as we mentioned, Dawson. Well, why can't the legislators get together and really do something meaningful? Well, what do we have to do? I mean, even on the federal level, what about the congressmen and the senators? What are they doing?
Well, you got to also remember, too, that the unions have a strong political pact.
So their lobbyists
so they have lobbyists. They have, go talk to Dorothy Tillman, and she'll tell you about how much influence the unions have in elections. So when you have people that contribute tens of thousands of dollars to your various campaigns, you know, you may not be as quick to speak out against them.
Give a phone number for Keep the Faith.
312-997-2470.
What about you?
773-427-2980.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Leonard. Okay. All right, my dear brothers and sisters, I want to thank Jim Montgomery Jr., and I want to thank Leonard Noble and Mr. George Salinas. I'm Munir Muhammad. Thank you so much for watching, and may Allah bless you with the light of understanding as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.